Shalom, family. Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. This is your brother Tariq,
And this is your sister Crystal.
and we coming back to you all with another episode, another podcast on the essence of life. The essence of life. First and foremost, we gotta give our thanks and appreciation for all of the people that's been tuning in, listening to the messages, all the people that's been commenting, all the people that's been liking. It definitely encourages us to stay on this straight and narrow path. And like we said, even if it's one that's hearing, we thankful for that. We're not looking or asking for anything. We just looking, as our channel is called The Essence of Life, to try to help not only ourselves but others, receive that revelation on what is the essence of life, what is the meaning of life, what is the purpose of life. So we in this together, y'all. Like, these real life learning classes, I feel like, So yeah, we just want to thank you all, man. Like, for real, from the bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate it. We appreciate those that do like the videos, that do subscribe, and we also appreciate people that may have never seen the videos but might see this one. We really appreciate it, guys. So today, we coming to you all with a message. It is called 10 years versus 1 year, and we're just coming up on our 1 year anniversary, which was last Sunday, June 25th. So congratulations to us. Definitely congratulations to us. And the video today, like I said, it's going to be called 10 years versus 1 year. And what are those 10 years? The 10 years was a period of time where we was in a relationship, right? And that 1 year is the 1 year of us being married, right? So first thing I'm gonna say is I'm not a marriage expert, so I'm not coming on here to tell you how your marriage should be. We're coming on here to let you all know what we have experienced since we've been married, and the significance of this 1 year, and also the significance of those 10 years. Those years were significant. I'm not going to sit here and say, it was no value, because after those 10 years, we finally got married, right? But there was a lot going on in those 10 years. There was a lot of things that took place right up until our marriage. Last year, it was a lot of things that was needed to be said, a lot of things that needed to be addressed. So it's like we're learning the significance of the 1 year, being in tune with one another, being under a covenant, feeling safe and secure. I feel like that 1 year marriage, during this 1 year, it feels honorable. It feels like I'm safe. It feels like I can now really trust not only my wife, but I can trust the Most High to lead and guide us on the straight and narrow path. Because even in His Word, He says, "He who finds a wife finds favor with the Most High." And the reason, I brought up that scripture too, because like I said, the 1 year versus the 10 years, me leaning to my own understanding during the 10 years. So we gonna get into it. You got anything to say before we get into it?
No, you basically touched on, everything or whatever.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the 10 years. So I guess we could give y'all a little rundown introduction to how we met. I hope this not too boring. Some people know, some people may even know about the story, but I hope this not too boring. But so how did we meet? I met at a friend's house. I was at a friend's house, and Crystal was there, and we all ended up going to a party together. I didn't meet her at the party. I met her at a friend's house, but we all rode together to the party. And I can remember at this time in my life, I was just, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't trying to sound, I don't care. I'm gonna be genuine. I was looking for, love. I was tired of chasing females. I was tired of having different partners, giving my energy out to different females. It's like, even back then, and now I understand the Most High was with me, to really seek that one, seek out that one. So it was just something different about her that was different from a lot of the other women that we was around, particularly that night. And she was like very like meek and sort of shamefaced. She wasn't loud. She wasn't, you know, she didn't appear to be raunchy. She didn't appear to be, you know, arrogant. So, you know, that was something different for me. So, you know, I look at it even back then, you know, that first year out of them 10 years, the Most High, he gave me as a seat. It was almost like he was telling me, like, this your wife right here. You know, back then, even though I didn't understand it. But, you know, 11 years later, we still together. So, you know, like the Most High even say his word, what he has joined together, let no man tear apart, you know, let no man cut asunder. So that's a little rundown of how we met.
Yeah. And his intentions was, you know, he was more so trying to get in my you know, and in my life, I was looking for a relationship. I was tired of going through relationships of men, you know, just wanting that one thing out of me. I was looking for someone that wanted me for me. And what stood out to me was when he, like, one day I was on a train, and because I gave him my number, but I didn't, you know, respond to his messages because he was like, because of what, like, how he came at me, and I didn't like it. But I was on a train, and he was like, what you say? You said, but how come you don't be responding to my text messages? So I just started busting out laughing, and that grasped my attention because it's like, yeah, you see why I'm not responding to you. So I explained to him, you know, why I wasn't, you know, responding to your messages, and what I loved about that was he respected. He was like, oh, I just wanted to see, you know, how far you was gonna let me go, but I respect, you know, your decision or whatever like that.
Right.
And ever since then, like, we was, you know how those little teenage lovebirds were on the phone all night.
Right.
Pressed to go see one another.
Right.
Like, everyone can tell y'all, when you see him, you see me.
Right.
Like, throughout my years in high school all the way up until now.
Right.
Like, we was literally always together. So
Right.
that sums up from our 10 years of being together. That's a little bit of something.
That was the first year. That ain't sum up. But that ain't sum up. So I'm gonna get to the point, the bullet point of what she said. It's something that's key. You know, I feel like this is key not only in our relationship, but it might. I pray this will help, you know, other people's relationship. What she said, you know, what she didn't really say it was, when we first got together, because I was so normal of, you know, when I first meet a woman, when I was that young, like, if I meet you, probably if it ain't on the first night, you know, it's gonna be like the next time I see you. And it wasn't like that. So to me, that was something, you know, that was something interesting for me. And, you know, most people, like, in that point, you know, I kind of looked at her like, I like this because she trying to get me a fight. And most people tend to like what they can't get, you know. They tend to like what they can't get. So that sort of sparked something because it was something, you know, out of the norm. And it kind of made me uncomfortable, right? It made me uncomfortable in a way.
I like that word.
And because it made me uncomfortable, you know, sometimes when you get uncomfortable, you are in situations where it's time for growth. So I look at it like, I think I might pursue this or whatever, right? So I pursued it, you know, and like I said, like she wasn't trying to give me none. So that kind of turned me on. I was like, wow, like she ain't trying to give me none. It usually be real easy, or maybe it was just the females I was messing with. I don't know, but you know, this is, like I said, it's a key to, you know, what I'm gonna say here is, when you looking for somebody to love you, don't give yourself away first. You know, really get to know that person. You know, see it, if you say no, how the person will react, because that'll say a lot about the person. If the person don't want to deal with you no more because you ain't trying to get them none, then that goes to show where their motives and their intentions really were. So, you know, try to, you know, seek, love for people that want you for you first. People that want to build, not just physically but spiritually and emotionally. That's like another point that we about to get to in this video, how we grew like spiritually. But back to that, yeah, like don't get with somebody and they just try and get up in your pants, don't do that.
Learn how to say no and see how they react.
Right, see how they react. And you definitely, you gotta learn to love yourself too before you can learn to love someone else. A lot of us, we come into relationships as broken. And I'm not gonna lie, like when we met, I wasn't whole. But we met Yahweh. We met the Most High, and He was willing to fix, He was willing to fix our wounds so we can grow together. He seen something in us that was worth saving, right? He seen something in us that was worth keeping together. But that's another tip, like, try to, come to your partner or someone you think you like or going be in a relationship with, try to come to them as whole as possible. We know we not perfect. And like I said, we not perfect, and we married and we still ain't perfect. We still have a lot of things that we talk about. We still have a lot of things that we address, but it's really about, sticking it out. That's what love is, right? Compare, like when you get married, compare the love that you have for your partner, like how the Most High loves you. The Most High don't give up on you even when you fall short, right? He does not give up on you. He said He married unto us. The Most High is married unto us. He's married unto His people. So it ain't no divorce. It ain't no backing out, So yeah, man. So back to how we first met, that was year one. That was year one. We ain't necessarily gonna talk about the years. We just gonna talk about the growth in the significant years. So another thing, just like how it is now, we always together. Like we thinking about even, going in business together. Like that's how much we together, because I believe that this is my helpmeet. I believe the Most High usually gives the man the vision, and He gives you that woman to help you nurture that vision. Like women's natural roles, I believe they're nurturers. They're like caretakers, right? And the man, I'm not saying women, I'm not saying you all don't have ideas, but it's just roles, in marriage. The man usually is supposed to carry on the heavier load, but the woman is supposed to be there to complement him. The woman came out of the man's rib, which means the woman is by his side, right? The woman never leaves his side. So, that's key too, man. That's key. So, what else can we talk about as far as the 10 years? Let's talk about how we was when we first met, as far as the things we were into, right? And when we first met each other, we was young, so we was still, we was definitely ready for the turn up. We was definitely popping the bottles and rolling up every weekend. We was definitely doing that. We was definitely into that. But along our journey, that's even something, we stopped.
That was something that was hindering us,
right?
Because it wasn't like we was doing it in moderation. We was abusing it,
right?
To where so every time when we link up together during the weekend, we intoxicated,
right?
And that's not okay. Like it's okay to do it in moderation, but when you abuse that authority, or when you don't know your limit, like bad things can happen. So in that 10-year span, we learned that let's slow down on this and start connecting with like our words type stuff. Let's learn about one another.
Right.
Because like if we're gonna learn about one another through like liquor, like it's not going to click because you're not in your right state of mind. So it's like you start feeling a certain type of way, or you start saying things that you don't really mean. It's just overall it's just bad. So that's something that we learned to, you know, step away from.
Right.
Because it wasn't for us. That's
Right.
not like that's not how you should connect with someone you see your life with. So.
Right. Sober life, y'all. The sober
Mhm.
life. And even now, like, I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, kick a day out like I said, like I'm perfect. Cause even now on occasion, if it's a birthday, anniversary, something like that, we might, you know, sip on something. But as far as, you know, we definitely came away from smoking. Like I used to smoke cigarettes, weed, Capones, you know, I used to smoke, right? But I put all that stuff down because it was like wasting a lot of my time. You know, it wasn't beneficial for my relationship. You know, it was things that I was when I did that, I was usually using those things and those avenues to escape reality. You know, and I was wasting money. You know, I was wasting a lot of money. You know, it was a hobby more than just doing it, you know, like how some people do it for medicinal uses. I was doing it every day, spending. I don't even know where I was finding all the money to do that. And it's like now I don't do it, and I be, you know, I work, but I feel like I was putting more money to that, and now I'm like, where all that money at? I need that money back. I should have been saving that money, but you know, it's cool though, man. Like I said, like one of the things, you know, that definitely happened along this 10-year journey. Like to sum that all up, even talking about the drug situation, is it was always growth, right? It was always growth, and it was always growth as far as we was always looking for something better. And we looking for something better to better our relationship. We looking for something better to better ourselves. You know, we was always looking to upgrade, you know. So we just, you know, tried to get all things that just wasn't beneficial out of our lives, you know. And that goes, you know, I pray, like I said, I pray this touch somebody to, if anybody heard what we just said, you know, things that's wasting your time, and like try to get that stuff out of your life, you know. And if you need help, call on the Most High, you know, call on the Most High. It's not easy, and it ain't an easy task to like do by yourself. Like that's what happened to me. Like I stopped smoking when I had Kingston, my first son. And I was working, and I think I shared this story in the first video. I was working, and I had did something at work, and they gave me a drug test, and they found marijuana in my system. And at that moment, it was like a shift change where I was like, well, I can't think about myself because I got a good job, and I got a son. And at the time, Crystal, which was my girlfriend, even though I was still kind of looking at her like wifey back then, I had to do what I can to like help provide. So I was like, I can't afford to lose this job. So the Most High met me halfway, and I didn't get fired from that job. They just put me on 6-month probation, and at that point of my life is when I chose to stop smoking. So, you know, it was just, you know, things that we did before we met each other. A lot of those things, you know, ended once we met each other. And it's beauty in that because, like I said, like when you're in a relationship, and I feel like it's a healthy relationship, you're going to see growth, right? You're going to see growth not only from not only from yourself, but from your partner, and ultimately y'all gonna grow together, right? So with that being said, you're definitely gonna grow together and what you're doing. And yeah, man. So sorry, y'all, a little distraction. I got a little distracted, so forgive me if y'all like, what is he talking about? He getting off topic. Somebody like walked up while we shooting the video. But yeah, man, we was just always looking for growth, you know, in our relationship. So I stopped smoking, right? And then I got on my path where I was, you know, working. I had a good job, had a consistent job, you know, we just living life. Something else that happened in that 10 years, which I feel like is the best part about our relationship, because without it, we probably still wouldn't be together, was we met the Most High, right? We met the Most High, the Heavenly Father. We found out who we were and whose we were. And that's something that grounded us. That was our foundation. That's what it was really all about. You know, understanding who the Most High was, understanding how we feel like He ordained our lives to be, and then trying to apply it, right? Trying to apply it. And in that process as well, like, once we met Him, we had to prepare our souls for temptation, as the word say. Like, when you come to serve the Most High, you got to prepare your soul for temptation. So a lot of the things that we stopped doing, you know, it was things now, you know, changing slowly but surely. Started to change it slowly but surely. Had us in His Word, slowly but surely. Had us in prayer. You know, it was that's probably the best moment of my life, like meeting the Most High, right? Because the Most High is the one, like, even to this day, He gives me, through His Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, He gives me, you know, new ideas. Through His Holy Spirit, He puts in my heart how to love my wife, how to love my children, right? And it's always about growth, right? It's not about you just being stagnant in relationships. Relationships, like when you become married, you know, you don't get married and then everything fall off. When you get married, it's an ongoing relationship. Like, you saying your vows until death do us part, but you supposed to be building, right? It's a building thing. It's a building thing. So that's definitely, you know, like I said, one of the most significant things that happened in our marriage was meeting the Most High. So, you know, that's another point. Stop right there and pause. Like, when you really want to get serious with somebody in a relationship, put the Most High first and seek the Most High. He'll put on your heart who your spouse is, and He'll put on your heart how He wants to hand you to your spouse, right? He's going to purge a lot of things, like a lot of things that won't be beneficial, especially when you trust in Him. You got to let Him purge you. You can't go into a relationship with a selfish mindset. You can't go in a relationship like, this is who I am, I'm not changing for nobody. No. Because when you go to the Most High, you're going to change, right? And we just said the Most High is married unto us, right? So He wants to change you. He wants to prune you. He wants to purge you to the way He wants you to be. So why, when you get married, you think it ain't no purging going to take place? Oh, just take me who I am. Nah, ain't no take me who I am. We're going to work this thing out, and we're going to get better. Both of us are going to get better, right? Both of us are going to come up higher, right? Both of us are going to drop our selfish ways, right? So we can become one. Because if you're selfish, you don't need nobody.
Exactly.
But if you selfless and you married, that's when you become one flesh, right? It's no longer about yourself. You are twined together with your partner. Y'all together. Y'all like this. Y'all connected to the point where y'all can be in the room and look at each other and y'all speaking with your eyes, because y'all know what the other one's thinking. Like, y'all literally in tune. Just like, that's how the Most High is. He wants you to be in tune with Him. So when you go somewhere, or you need advice on a thing, or you seeking knowledge on a thing, you can be like, that was the Most High that just gave me that. That was the Most High that just revealed me that, right? He put it in your mind. He's married unto you. So yeah, you want to say anything, baby?
Yeah. So I know in that 10-year span, he taught me how to become selfless, because I always thought about self, pleasing self, you know. And I realized in a relationship is not just about self. You have someone else to please, and also being able to use your words and communicate. That was something I struggle with, and I still do till this day. People that know me know that I'm a quiet person. I am like that in my relationship as well. He always try to pick my brain. Are you okay? What's wrong? You know, things like that. It's like it's hard to express myself, and that's how I was growing up too. So in this relationship, I learned how to, you know, voice my opinion. I learned how to, you know, express, you know, how I feel, and also if it's areas where he lacking, and areas that I lack in. You know, we just basically just talk. You know,
Right.
I felt like towards like the 10-year mark, we learned how to connect mentally. we was always connecting physically, and we just felt as though like it's something missing, you know. And that goes to part to where as though we stopped, you know, having sex for before we had got married, to where as though we could connect, you know, using our words. And when I say those were the best months, days, seconds, minutes of our relationship, because we were open, you know, we was open to like talk about any and everything, and it was just like
it was things that was like
needed.
It was things that was swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And now I know that's what was kind of keeping us from getting married. It was hidden things. It was secret things, right?
Yeah.
And like the words say this too, man. Like, I no longer call you my servants, but my friends. Like, if you like you're a friend when your friend know what's going on with you. You know, you ain't keeping those secrets, man. And one key thing that my wife just said, another key point out of this message is communication. Communication. So many relationships fail because of the lack of communication, right? So many relationships fail because of how much mess gets swept under the rug.
Yeah.
If you keep sweeping stuff under the rug, you're gonna lift that rug up and be like, damn, I got a lot of cleaning up to do, right?
Where that stuff come from? Why do you feel like that?
Right.
Because it's been swept under the rug for days, years, maybe months.
Right.
And you bring it up to your significant other, and you like, hold up, like, what's going on?
Right. And it be something small.
Yes.
But it's all that mess up under the rug that trigger that small thing. It could be something small like, why you ain't take the trash out? And then you just curt. Like, what you mean why I ain't do this? You know what I'm saying? Because you done swept all that mess under the rug. And then you lift up that rug, you got a lot of cleaning up to do. Like, you got a lot of cleaning up to do. So communication, like we said, like I've noticed, you know, a lot of relationships fail because of the lack of communication. Like, you know, your partner is not a mind reader. So if you don't open your mouth and say anything, if you don't open your mouth and say I'm hungry, how your partner gonna know you hungry, right? You know, but when you get, you know, on that spiritual path, you know like, yeah, my husband, he probably hungry. Let me make him something to eat, you know. So yeah, man, communication is definitely key. Communication is something that we learn. Communication is something that we still learning, but we're gonna continue to practice it until we master that aspect in our marriage, because that might be one of the most important, if not the most important thing in a marriage, is communication. Like, that's something that we learn, you know, is communication. That's something that we learn, you know, communication. So communicate, family. You know, when you got your partner, make sure y'all communicating. Make sure y'all in tune with one another, you know. Make sure you letting that person know how you really feel, right? Don't try to sugarcoat nothing because you think you might be hurting somebody's feelings. Like, express yourself. Express how you feel. You gotta express how you feel, you know. So that kind of like, that's not the totality of the 10 years, but it was a lot of key points that we want y'all to take for them 10 years. Okay, now we're going to get to the 1 year. We're going to get to the 1 year, family. Okay? So the 1 year, you know, last year, like I said, June 25th, that's when we got married, right? I can say this was the foundation of what we building now, you know, doing it the right way, you know, opposed to leaning to our own understanding of us thinking we was doing it the right way. Like, now I really feel like, you know, I always felt, like I said, I feel like the Most High, he never leaves you, but he also does things in your life when you're not obedient to teach you a lesson, right? And he still teaches lessons, even in the midst of us being married. But like I said earlier, like, when you married, right? The Most High said, when you find a wife, you find a good thing. He said, when you find a wife, you find favor with the Most High, right? So during this 1 year, you know, this 1 year is a transition. This 1 year is that solid foundation. Is how I want you to. How can you be a better father? How can you be a better wife? How can y'all be better parents? Like, he really been opening our eyes lately, you know, breaking out of that glitch from the Matrix, like waking us up, like literally, like spiritually waking us up and coming to be as one. Like, it's been a lot of stuff that's been shared during this 1 year than it was in the 10 years. Like we said, it was a lot of stuff in them 10 years that was swept up under the rug, but now it's coming out in this 1 year, you know. But that's because, and I appreciate it, because that's how you know it's growth, right? It's a lot of uncomfortable things, but it's growth. When things get uncomfortable, that means it's time for growth, right? It's time for growth, family. So, you know, the 1 year, all right, I'm gonna share this testimony with y'all and show y'all how the Most High went before us. Even last year we got married. So last year we had our apartment, and right before we was getting married, we was supposed to move, right? We was supposed to move. So we like, yeah, like the Most High, he got us. He gonna look out for us. You know, he about to put us in this new. We were supposed to move in some like these little new apartments they got in DC, fake luxury, high expensive apartments, right? But the Most High gave us like we really thought we was about to get it, and then we didn't get it, and then we got a little confused because we like, hold up, like we about to get married, like you supposed to be putting everything in line. You supposed to be putting everything in line, but no, like it's about he was establishing a foundation. Like we look back now and be like, okay, if I was in this high expensive apartment, I ain't even gonna lie, with the job I had, right? It wasn't gonna work. I was gonna be struggling. I was never gonna be home, right? And yeah, sometimes you gotta make sacrifices, but like I said, the Most High is trying to help us get out of the glitch. He's trying to help us get out of this matrix, y'all. Like the matrix we're living, and get back to the way that he called us to live. Get back to the essence of life, like how he created us to be, how he want us to be. Like this is my Father's earth, right? He said the earth is his and the fullness thereof, right? So if my Father, if this is his earth, if my Heavenly Father, this is earth, why wouldn't his son or his children, why wouldn't they have? Why would they lack, right? So he didn't put us in that position to financially struggle, right? And that's something he teaching us about now, how to become financially free, right? How to become financially free, how to become free from your job, and learn how to use this, right? Like that's why we together, because we have a purpose on this earth to fulfill together. I strongly believe that, right? I strongly believe we have God-given talents. I strongly believe you have God-given talents, right? That the Most High has put inside of you, but we got to come out of the matrix, you know? We got to come out of the Truman Show, waking up, doing everything the same way every single day, right? No. Like, when you in that transition, things gonna get uncomfortable, but they supposed to be. They supposed to be. That's how you know it's growth. So, he put us in situations that might have made us uncomfortable, but they also inspired us to grow. Like they also inspired us to grow. So back on the apartment thing, we didn't get it, but then now you look at you like, why would you get married and he would even really want you to have an apartment? Like, wouldn't he want you to have a house, right? But he also showed us like, y'all been doing it wrong as far as like how y'all working. Like, yeah, but like I ain't gonna lie, like I ain't even really know how to save money how I was supposed to, but now he's teaching me how to save money. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all things that's helping you grow in your relationship. Like why would you continue to buy and spend when you really don't have? Right? That's another problem. You know, we had, and that we trying to come away from. Like to not acquire so many liabilities before you can start acquiring assets. He's teaching us about acquiring assets in this 1 year. Like, okay, before you could be spending, or you think you need 2 cars, how about you just start off with 1 car, right? How about you pay that off, right? How about you have as less bills as you can and try to save as much money as you can, right? Like, stop trying to, like how they say, keep up with the Joneses, right? Like, he teaching us how to become financially free, and that's key. That's something that I feel like we miss as a people, that we probably not taught from our parents. I'm not saying no parents teach their kids, and I'm pretty sure some people, some of us know how to get money and save money, but I'm really talking about like when you married, your goal is to put things away for your children, right? Your goal is to try to create an inheritance, right? It's not just about you. You shouldn't have to go to the grave and people wondering how they gonna bury you, right? You should already have enough to put away for that, right? So it's like he's now in this 1 year he's been setting our foundation. You know, that's the key thing that the Most High has been doing in our life. He is setting the foundation, a solid foundation. So when things do get shaky and rocky, we'll have something to stand on, right? We'll have something to stand on. So he's over this 1 year, to sum that up, I can feel like he's been building our foundation, right? How we should be spiritually, how we should be physically, how we should be financially, right? Like these are all things he's been giving us and showing us, so we can do what we're supposed to do, and as a married couple, right? And prayerfully be an example, because I love black love, I love black marriage. I preach it, I promote it, you know. I love it because I feel like that's the foundation of how we gonna get back to the essence of life of how the Most High created us to be. Getting our fathers back in these homes, right? Having the mother and the father in the home, having that balance, right? Because sometimes, and I'm not saying like a husband can't raise his children alone and a wife can't raise her children alone, but it's better when it's balanced. It's always better when it's two, and then all the pressure fall back on you and you have no help, right? You need that structure, right, of the man, the woman, and the children, and everybody got to play their role accordingly, right? That's like the foundation of getting back to the essence of life. That's one of the foundations, like family. You gotta have a family, and it gotta be structured right. Like it can't just be a family, and the family ain't thinking about growing and just let life go on. Like, nah, it's a family, and y'all supposed to be building, right? Y'all supposed to be learning. So, yeah, like he's just been teaching us about that, like how important family is. Like I know, like my mom, she was the provider, right? She worked, right? She never really had the time that I know she wished she would have had, right? But she did the best she could, you know. She raised me. So my mother, she did a great job, but I still look back and know that it was a lot on her plate. But if she was married and had her husband with her along that path, it could have took some of that stress off, you know. It could have took some of even me losing myself in my teenage years. It could have took some of that off, because I would have had a man to lead and guide me, right? To set that discipline and set that structure, right? Like I said, like the woman, like she working like a man, you know. She working hard, ain't nothing wrong with working, but I feel like that load should go to the man, while the woman at home nurturing them kids, man, teaching them kids, you know, training up them children in the way that they should go, right? Because the man, he set that foundation, and he pouring it into his wife. Like this how it go. It's God, or the Most High, Yahweh. It's man, it's woman, and then it's children, right? It's a standard. That's the standard he set. And when that standard is out of line, right, it's chaos. When you out of line with the Most High, it's chaos. So yeah, man, he's been building that foundation for us during this 1 year. He's been building the foundation. Our love and our understanding for one another has increased, like, tremendously, like more in that 1 year probably than it did in them 10 years of it being stagnant. But right up until we was about to get married, we felt the shift. Spiritually, things started to change. Like, oh, things are about to get better, right? And that's the thing, when you feel like things are getting rough and shaky, usually things are about to get better. Something's about to change in your life, right? So you just gotta stay faithful, stay grounded, keep your trust, keep your faith in the Most High. That's all you want to say, baby.
I felt
it's about the 1 year.
With the 1 year, it gave me like, what is the word I'm gonna say? Built my faith even stronger. Reason being is because, like how my husband was saying, we was about to get an apartment, you know, lining up in that before getting married, and we didn't get it. So, and we was like, you know, like, why? But we want to, you know, keep faith or whatever. And then after us, you know, getting married, we found out that we was about to have another child, and I ended up having a miscarriage, and that kind of like shook up my faith just a little bit more. And it kind of like, you just thinking like, once you become married, you know, blessings come, you know, or whatever. And we was just like why is this happening, you know? And then I ended up finding out that we was having another baby, and you know that kind of, and I ended up having another miscarriage to where as though like I was losing so much blood or whatever, to the point where I like they had to put more like blood, my blood type back inside me. So it was just like me going through that showed me that like Yahweh got you. You know, it was something that He was teaching me in that aspect. Like have faith in me. Oh, okay. Have faith in me, you know, and lean on me wholeheartedly, and I will, you know, I will give you that type of comfort. Because me going through that, I could have been like in a detrimental state because of how it was so close and back to back, and also me, also us losing our, not losing, but like we didn't get approved for a nice apartment. So it was just like, by me leaning on Him wholeheartedly, it gave me comfort knowing that like everything's gonna be okay. Your time will come when you can be, when you can conceive, or when you guys can receive something nice. But right now y'all need work. Y'all need work to do. Mm-hmm. So by me now, I'm looking back like at those events that happened. He basically showing us like, yeah, y'all have work to do in order to, like how my husband said, to build that foundation. So therefore, when you guys go to that, like when you come across that again, you will be experts of it, ready, you know. So, and when I think about it, back then we wasn't ready. We was just, you know, we just thought everything's supposed to come like this, and it's not. It's all about, like how we always say when we conversate, it's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. So He's just taking us, He's just giving us, dropping gems to where though we learn more and more about one another, and also being knowledgeable about the things that takes place in life, to where though you can get better. And because if you are still doing the same thing, like how you say in the Matrix, if you watch the Truman Show, that's a good movie you guys can watch to get a better understanding of what we're talking about. But if you like keep doing the same thing, you like, oh, something ain't right, you know.
Right. It's insanity.
Exactly. So it's like you start to question those things, like what's going on, like start talking to the Most High, and then He start to shake things up, start to reveal to you of what needs to happen. You know, He revealed a lot of things to my husband that I didn't see in this 1 year of marriage, to where though I'm like, because back that 10-year Crystal would have been like, nah, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, I do, like it would cause an argument. But this 1 year Crystal in being married will be like, like let me just control my tongue as a woman. Think about what he just said, because obviously it's an issue, and then that's when you can tackle the conversation that we was just having. So that right there, the faith, and you know, the communication, and also, you know, like leveling up in a relationship. Like that's what I learned, you know, in this 1 year of marriage. And it's so much more that we are learning, and the path that we are going through, it's amazing. And I'm thankful, even down to like how I was saying in the 10 years, like I'm not like a vocal person. The Most High put it on my heart, like put it on our hearts to be like, oh, let's help you in this aspect. Let's do this podcast. You know, let's show or teach people, or put thoughts in people's head of what you guys are going through, because too many conversations me and my husband have, we gotta let y'all know, because it's like things that we didn't know, we want y'all to know type stuff, or how to get there, or how to start,
or maybe what to expect.
Yeah,
you know? Like I said, in everybody's life journey, we're not saying y'all life is our life, but we just sharing experience, because that's how sometimes we learn. We learn through other people's experiences that they may have went through something that we went through, so we can connect, you know, and we be like, like maybe that is why that happened. But we always, you know, go and pray about it first. But at the same time, it's like, we just helping our people understand that you're not in this alone. Like, we all sometimes experience the same things, right? We all human, right? We all sometimes experience the same things. So, like she said, like, just to prepare you, like how we drop some key points in the 10 years, right? Like, when you first, meet somebody, don't be so quick to lay down with them, right? Communicate, right? Be willing to grow physically, spiritually, mentally, right? Together. Be willing to drop your selfish ways, right? Be willing to drop your selfish ways and be selfless. Don't be selfish. Be selfless, so y'all can come together and be one, and you can build with somebody, because it's definitely a beautiful thing, man. Like I said, man, black love is a beautiful thing. That's how the Most High intended this thing to be, man. That's why I said, like, a lot of our youth, I understand they lost, and it's like I said, it ain't just about being married, but it's about striving to have that righteous marriage. Not just being married, because you could be married and still do you and be filled with a lot of worldly ways and worldly things, and teaching your kids worldly ways where it's not benefiting them. So you want to definitely strive for that righteous relationship or marriage, that you want.
And it's not just a one-way thing. Y'all both have to do it, and
right.
that's how you guys can become one.
Right.
Because if one person is doing all the work, and the other significant other is not really pulling, like, doing their part, like how I think Tabitha said, Tabitha Brown, she was like, there's no such thing as 50-50. If you give 100 and I give 100, that's how you become one.
Right.
To where though we can be our best, with one another. That's how you grow, and also that's how you grow with self too. Because like if you're gonna be in a relationship, and if you want things to work, y'all both gotta do the works.
Sure.
Because we've learned that if one person doing the work and the other person not, then that's another conflict that's happening. That's another a topic or argument or whatever, how you go about it, tackle that situation. That's an issue. So yeah, do the works.
The works, finally do the works. So we're not gonna hold y'all too much longer. This was a long video, but we just wanted to share with you all our 10 years. Like I said, it's much more things, but we just wanted to share with you all like key points that may help you all, like whether you're in a relationship, whether you thinking about getting married, or whether you married. Some things that might come your way, they might not, because you might be different. But like I said, most of the times people experience the same thing, and sometimes people just looking for a way or help. Something, like I said, something you might have been praying for, hopefully was in this video that might have gave you a little bit of insight from what we was just talking about. We just want to be a help, and a blessing. Like we not your pastors, we not your God. We don't ask you to look up to us, but we just want to help if we can. We just want to pour back in to our people if we can. So take everything that we say, with a grain of salt. Like they say, eat the meat, spit out the bones, and just pray on it, right? Like I said, if it's whether you looking for a relationship, you in a relationship, you looking to get married, you are married, just the first word always, like even in your marriage, like seek the Most High first, right? Seek the Most High, and He'll give you insight on how He wants you all to be. So finally, once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in with us this long, and we pray that this message was a blessing. The podcast, the channel, The Essence of Life. Go follow our YouTube channel. Just show support, just show love, just watch the video. Like I said, leave a comment to let us know you tuned in. If it touched you in any particular way, like we like to talk, we like to conversate as far as going back and forth, getting insight on how you feel, or how you feel about the video, or what you're going through. Maybe we could give our opinion or our help on how we think you can change or make a change. So it's your brother Tariq.
It's your girl Krista.
On the Essence of Life, you all be blessed.